welcome to my week in review. And I'm also going to make sure that my sound is okay before I get going too far. No, that's not what I want. And then also get all my other stuff kind of up. Maybe wait for a little bit, see if other people decide to join. Yeah. Let's see what kind of... I know my Wi-Fi is being a little slow, so let's make sure. Oh, I've been on there for a minute. Perfect. I see that I am good. I've got sound. Just gonna have my phone up here a little bit, some cheat sheets, and just gonna go for it. Okay. Well, I know I talked a little bit last week about some of the things that I was going to be doing. And one of those things, and I also did a 10-minute learning with Brandon on it as well, was NRP, so neonatal resuscitation program. And that went really well. Sorry, I just got done changing brakes on our vehicle, and it took me a couple hours changing all the brakes out. Wasn't too bad. Watched a couple of YouTube videos. Gotta love YouTube. And I drove it around. It stops when it's supposed to. It has a little bit of sound stuff going. But it did say that I had to kind of let those rotors and those brakes mesh together a little, kind of grind some of the factory stuff that was on there off. So we'll see how it ends up going. But yeah, back to NRP. I felt like it went really well. I learned a lot. There's a lot of good information on the online version of that. So we do how we're doing it. You do online learnings, and then you pass your tests and your different practicals on there. And then we go in and actually practice some of the hands-on things. So those were like inserting an emergent umbilical line and intubating, learning how to properly ventilate patients, babies, making sure secretions are out of the way. And if things aren't working, what to do to troubleshoot those and continue to try to save the baby's life. How much FiO2 to start off with and do. So there's a lot of good information, a lot of good practice, and then, able to just continue to help get these kids to have a better outcome than if they didn't have those kind of things. After we were done with that, we do have what you call a mega code, and every ACLS, BLS, PALS, so that's the pediatric advanced life support one, and then NRP, you have to do what's called a mega code, and you're doing it in front of you have your group and your peers and that kind of thing, where you're trying to run a code situation, kind of a mock code, to see where your communication breaks down, where you forget to follow the charts, the protocols, the flow chart, all that kind of thing. And so it's a safe place to be able to mess up, if you will. If you don't follow the protocols like you're supposed to, or you go a different way down the flow charts, it's a really good place to make those mistakes so that you can be able to correct that, get some feedback, and not do that in real life, kind of a thing. And so I think it's a good opportunity for everybody to learn. For me, I've been a respiratory therapist, like I said, a little over 8 years now, and it's kind of funny because you do these research, if you will, every 2 years. When I first started, definitely no experience, just kind of let everybody else run with it. And I guess I've been doing this a little longer than what I really noticed, because I'm, as a respiratory therapist, very rarely am I ever going to be delivering drugs or writing for these code situations or being a team lead. So being the person in charge of running the code, making sure that people are doing what the protocol states and going through those. It's good to be uncomfortable, and I definitely was uncomfortable for a little bit. I was the team lead because I had the most experience when it came to NICU and codes, so neonatal resuscitation. It was an opportunity for me to grow in that kind of space and let the other people do the hands-on thing, where I had to try to follow that protocol. And of course I messed up, don't do things perfect, but it helps, like I said, remind you of when you're in the real life scenario, being able to see those mistakes and being able to change your outcome by changing to help that kid and do the correct thing at that particular time. So it was good. I thought it was a lot of fun. Like I said, I was just uncomfortable for a few minutes, really, when we were doing the mock code or the mega code, but it all was a great learning experience. So that was definitely something that was good, learned a lot, and look forward to being able to recertify again and take those lessons that I've learned to be able to continue to apply that. So it was good. I was able to be in the NICU several days last week, and that was really nice, kind of a little bit of a change. I don't get down there. I usually am at least once a pay period I'm down there, and I kind of have liked that and thought that was really good for me, and being able to meet new families, kids, and it was just, it's awesome to be able to be a part of that and help little ones progress. But yeah, that was really good. Some other things that I was able to do was some LinkedIn learnings. I really actually enjoy those. I'm going to try to pull some things up while I have a second here. I really enjoy those. I can't remember off the top of my head which one I'm working on right now. I think it actually dealing with project management, which isn't necessarily the particular path that I'm in right now, but I think learning all sorts of things can make you a better individual in whatever situation you're in. So I kind of like that. But I'm gonna try to get in here. I wonder if they're not gonna let me in anymore. I hope they do. Oh, perfect. Good. Yeah, so project management simplified. I still have a little over 30 minutes left on that. And then I've also done majority of one. Actually, I probably should finish that one tonight, called Courageous Leadership. And I I like taking a lot of these things because it, again, can help me be an example in my department and just kind of going throughout my day-to-day stuff, and it's kind of cool. So if you haven't started doing those LinkedIn learnings, I would highly recommend that you get into those, pay for it, do whatever you need to, because there's, again, just a plethora of awesome information in there, and I would highly recommend doing that. So I also made a post today about my YouTube series and also Twitch, where I'm doing my 10-minute learnings with Brandon. I know they end up being a little more than 10 minutes, but I like the whole 10-minute learning, just kind of hopefully give you a snippet of that information. But I was able to do one on asthma today. I was actually at work taking a health stream education piece, just kind of for fun. I had a few minutes to kind of go through some of that, and again, it's a good reminder on a lot of these disease processes that I see every time I go to work, just getting a good understanding of that. And it's about asthma and just how much it impacts our livelihood and our lives here in the United States and also around the world. So just definitely run on over to the YouTube there and check out that. Again, it's asthma and just kind of understanding that a little bit. And it's on my YouTube series of 10-minute learnings with Brandon. So, and I put that on my LinkedIn, see if I can get some little more traffic. But I'm kind of looking forward. These are fun. Of course, definitely not just a little scared, I guess, but kind of pushing through and continue to do that and hope that it'll open up doors. And I think that's kind of what you worry about, is it closing doors for you or making a problem. But there's a lot of, I think, good that can come from getting good information and knowledge out there. And I just want to share some of the things that I've learned with that. So, but all right. So, I hope everybody had a good Easter Sunday yesterday. And also, I guess, happy April Fool's today. It's always a funny holiday that gets in there. But, yeah, Easter Sunday, we spent some time with my wife's family. I haven't seen them for a little bit, so it's good having that interaction with in-laws and also with cousins. It's kind of cool. Oh yeah, like I said, I was working on our vehicle and changed out some brakes. So that was a couple hours worth of labor there. And sometimes I feel like I have to do that just because things cost so much. But I also have this awesome geo tracker that is a little broken. So if anybody is mechanically inclined, it's got good power, it's got gas, and the spark part of it, it won't turn over. So I changed a few fuses for the ignition coil, but it might be the ignition coil. So put some information in the chat for me about any helps there. I guess I can check on YouTube as well, but definitely, hook me up with any information that you have. And I'll put that in here. Cool. All right, so I did want to kind of go over this a little bit, and a lot of these LinkedIn learnings that I've been looking into and doing have been revolving a lot around emotional intelligence and how important that is. So and maybe it's just because I like those things on LinkedIn, and so it just gets me more and more because I'm in that algorithm and everything. But I did find this, and I just copied it over to a Word document just to make it a little easier. But the role of emotional intelligence in leadership, and I just kind of liked a lot of these graphs that they have and that have been brought forward. So first off, you got your improved self-awareness. You're making sure that you're looking and visualizing people and trying to understand where they're at in that particular moment in time. Second part would be conflict resolution. Third is your decision making. Fourth, empathy and relationship building. Effective communication. That's definitely something that I have learned that I thought I did okay with effective communication, but no. So definitely one of the things I need to work on. So resilience and adaptability, I really like that. I try to be as resilient as I can. Do I get frustrated? Yeah. And then I just have these feelings of, hey, I need to do this, I need to do that. And so really in this moment, this is me being resilient and adapt to my circumstances. And like I said in the beginning, or towards the beginning, see what kind of doors open up. A lot of the time when things don't go the way that you want, there'll be other opportunities, and that's what I'm looking forward to. Now, the person that posted this was Dr. Tommy R. Nash. And I just, like I said, copied and pasted all this so you can see all that. Oh, you know what? It'd help if I did that. So we can see all this. Now, so emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage your own emotions and the emotions of others. Now, for me, at this point, I'm really working on that part on my end, and hoping by doing that, I can be a leader in my role as a respiratory therapist and throughout the hospital of showing people how to do it, because I think it does really focus more on just me and getting that thing figured out and going, versus me telling other people that's how they have to do it. And so I'm working on me first, and if anybody comes to ask, I'll try to give them as much help and effective leadership techniques at that point, if I have them. But here's some ways, and again, this is the post by Dr. Tommy R. Nash. So he stated that you got some improved, just like what we talked about, improved self-awareness, conflict resolution, decision-making, empathy, and relationship building, effective communication, resilience, adaptability. So by developing and nurturing emotional intelligence, leaders can create an environment that fosters the success and growth of their team. And that's what I'm really looking forward to. And here's this image that I thought I was showing you, but now I am. I just really wanted to stress how important emotional intelligence really is. And a lot of the papers that I read when I was in school did show a lot of really good high marking information, if you will, or high marks of leaders that had emotional intelligence. And that's something that's really hard to teach and learn sometimes, so you have to really focus on that and try to read situations and not insert yourself in a negative or condescending way. And so that's what I think is really important about that, and I'm gonna strive to keep going with that and kind of get that going. So all right, so I'm gonna turn that off here and just keep going through this part. I did want to bring up, I think it's always nice to be real and authentic, and I'm not trying to hide a whole lot. I'm just, again, I'm not going to also give all of my deepest, darkest secrets or anything like that, but just kind of tell you a little bit about who I am and what I like to do. I know if you've seen in the back, you've probably noticed some workout equipment. I really like doing what's called CrossFit. I just got done doing what was called the Open. So it's a worldwide competition that if you want to sign up, you can pay money to CrossFit headquarters. It's $20. You do all the same workouts throughout 3 weeks. There's 3 different workouts, and the whole world, whoever signed up, does the same workout. They have certain requirements that you have to keep, standards that you have to meet, and you're able to put your scores in and go through all those things, and it's kind of fun. I've done it here and there throughout the years, and I decided to do it again this year, and I really learned that I'm really out of shape and need to do a lot more training if I want to be anywhere close to this level of awesome that some of these people are. So I am trying to find me so you can see. So I guess I'll bring it over here and I'll share my screen with that. Oh, it's kind of not willing to share. Maybe it was just, oh, it's only gonna do that. Interesting. Okay, well, never mind. But I ended up being 4,497th out of, how many were there? And these are people my age, men, out of 25,845. I ended up being within the, I think it was like 80th percentile in my division, which I'm used to having it up a little higher, but like I said, I kind of slacked on a lot of these things. So and a lot of the time it'll have my ranking, but it's okay. It hasn't updated all the way, it looks like. Anyway, a lot of fun things there, and able to move on to the next stage of the competition if I want to, which is called quarterfinals, and I think those are coming up in like a month for my age group in particular. We'll see. I don't know if I want to keep going on with that. This was fun, just kind of seeing where I was at here and just trying to be the best I can. One thing I do love about CrossFit is how it's structured around progressing, and you do things, and you do it for time, or you do it for load or weight, and you try to do it for max amount of reps or rounds of things. And sometimes that can kind of really strain you and make things a little bit achy and things, but I think it really does give you this definite goal and where you're going to try to keep moving forward and show progression throughout the years to come. I want to have a healthy lifestyle, and I want to be able to do fun things when I'm older. I don't want to be in a hospital or constantly sick. constantly not able to do the things that I want to do because of my own limitations. And that's one thing that I think exercise and any kind of exercise program, going and trying to make yourself better, I think is the perfect thing for you. And that doesn't have to be CrossFit. It can be just going to the gym. It could be running a marathon, running, just a 5K, or even a mile. Whatever it is that's going to get you out there and keep you active, hiking up in the mountains and going on backpacking trips, doing hunting, just all sorts of different activities. I think it keeps you young, it keeps you healthy, and just like I've talked about in a lot of these learning with 10-minute learning with Brandon, is really, it's your quality of life, and you're the one that's going to make it that much better, and you need to be the one responsible for that. But all right, well, that for the most part, let me just make sure on my calendar here that I didn't have anything. Oh, that's all because that was last week there. Let's see if I put any notes. Yeah, just, normal stuff. I'm hoping that the weather will get a little nicer. We're wanting to do better about having a garden and maintaining that, getting things to where we're self-sufficient. That's a little, it's harder than what you think, and maybe it is easier. We're also wanting to get chickens at some point, kind of get homesteading going on our property. It'd just be kind of fun and nice. We live a little out in the country, so we can do those kind of things without worrying of neighbors that wouldn't appreciate those smells and things. We have a kind of enough area that it shouldn't be too big of a deal. And we're just, kind of working towards those kind of goals and being a little more independent from the infrastructure, just because you never know. COVID's pandemic definitely opened my wife and I's eyes a little bit when it comes to sufficiency and being reliant on yourself. And so we're trying to not overextend ourselves too much, but kind of look for those opportunities to make those homesteading type of situations a reality for us. And I think it looks different for everybody. I spent a lot of hours just kind of looking on YouTube and seeing all the different things that people do and how committed they are. And some of those things we're just not able to do in this time in our lives. So just going to keep going little by little, and I think we're going to make an amazing place for us to be able to live and continue to push through. All right, well, I don't see any. I see maybe on Twitch I got somebody, but I don't know if they have any questions or if they want to hear anything in particular. Again, I'd love to respond to comments. Whatever questions you have, I'll do my best to answer. If I don't feel like I need to answer that or want to, I'll probably not. It's definitely my decision on how that's going to go. But like I say, if you have any questions about respiratory, if I don't know it, I'll do my best to research it and try to get you a good, honest answer and just kind of go through those things. I did want to mention that I don't know if that's just if it's because of the algorithm on YouTube, but I have seen a lot of Dr. Mike coming up and a lot of his information. I really do appreciate how upfront and honest he is, and seems to. He looks like he has a good heart, and he does want a lot of good things to happen to everybody. If you haven't checked out him, you should definitely go check his channel out and see what kind of information he's got there. He's got a lot of really good sound advice, and he's a doctor, and it sounds like he listens to his patients and looks for the best answer for that particular patient and just doesn't jump to doing just kind of the mainstream type of things all the time. So I kind of like how unique he is in trying to help each individual come up with their plan of getting better, their healthcare plan, if you will. And I think that's admirable. So shout out to Dr. Mike. If you ever see this or hear this, I think you're awesome. I'd love to collaborate with you, but also anybody else that wants to collab on healthcare related things or leadership type things, I'm always here to learn. I'd love to get some of those creative juices going and learn from you all as well. So, all right. Well, I think I've given enough time there, and we've been on for 30 minutes, so I like it, and I should get ready to go to bed. Have a good rest of the day.